Hi, it's Jay from the Mancunion. Today we have Heather Baron-Gracie from Pale Waves. Thank you, Heather, for joining me.
No
So,
problem.
first of all, you were a student in Manchester. So, could you tell
hmm
us a little bit about your university experience in Manchester and what your favourite spots to visit in Manchester are?
well, Manchester's not too far from my hometown, which is Preston. So obviously, I've been to Manchester numerous times before I went there for university. But yeah, that was such a fun period of my life. It's when I met Kira, when I met Hugo. We met Charlie a bit later on, but I mean, Manchester's a great place. There's so much to do. There's so much life, and the people are, you know, so passionate and so loyal. My favorite places to visit would be Night and Day Cafe.
Mhm.
We actually rehearsed there for maybe a little under a year. They have like a basement deep down, and it's kind of a little bit creepy, but yeah,
Right.
it's definitely a very cute cafe. Like if someone was going to Manchester for the first time, I'd say definitely go there. Oh my god. And also Go-Falafel. I miss
Go-Falafel.
that
Yes,
so much.
yes, I agree.
Every time I am in Manchester, I need to get Go-Falafel. It's like, oh, it's so good. You just can't beat it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think what else. Obviously,
Any pubs in particular that just have your heart in Manchester?
any pubs? I'd say weirdly, I feel like I've been to a lot more like clubs. I guess because when I was going out so much in Manchester, I was like
Okay, so what clubs then?
18. We would go to, what's that one that's just got shut down like a few years ago? It's like sound control.
Sound control, okay.
Yeah, sound control, but it got shut down, I think. I don't think it's open anymore. That was literally around the corner from where we were staying,
Hmm.
our student halls, and that was always a good time.
What
Is
was
there
your
another one called The
experience? Sorry.
Factory?
Yes, the factory. Yeah,
Yeah, being there. Obviously, the gay bars too.
yeah.
We
Gay
would go
Village.
out there. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, we would go out there so much. That's always such a good time.
What were your experience of student halls? Because I've heard some, like, my experience was awful. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, mine was terrible too. I'm trying to remember all of this. It's so hard. Like Student Village, is it called? Um,
Was it at BIM? You went to BIM, didn't you?
yeah, round the corner from BIM.
Okay.
But yeah, it was awful. I felt like I was living in a prison. I felt like a
Right.
prisoner. Like the room was the size of like a coffin.
Yeah.
Um,
I was in Oak House and it was like a prison cell. It was
yeah,
literally, yeah.
like you're paying so much too
Hmm.
for like a tiny little box and like a shared disgusting bathroom and
Yeah.
like the tiniest kitchen we had, like, and it didn't even have any windows. Like
What?
it was so depressing. Yeah, the only window that we had was one in my bedroom that looked down onto like the pub's courtyard, which was below us. And
Such a
obviously that
scenic
got
view, yeah.
oh yeah, and it was so peaceful and so quiet.
Brilliant. So, okay, yeah, we've got some great recommendations there for students in Manchester to visit. So, recently, you made quite the big decision to come out as queer. So, first of all, well done for that because it's really hard to do that, especially in this industry where there's so many implications of like queer
Mm-hmm.
artists and stuff. I wanted to ask you how coming out as queer sort of affected your career and how you feel about your queer identity now as opposed to at the start of your career.
At the start of my career, I was still figuring a lot out. I mean, I knew I was gay, but I wasn't ready to, publicly speak about it
Mhm.
because I just wasn't ready at that point. I had so much like self discovery to do. I didn't feel like strong enough to be like looked up to in that way or like to even, engage in that. I
Mhm.
needed to figure out some other stuff. So in comparison to how I feel now, I feel so much more confident. I feel proud. Like, I don't know, you can't even really shut me up about it, really.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And I feel like it has brought the Pale Waves community together even more. And it's, people like us for that reason. You know, they find identity within themselves because, you know, we speak about our sexuality, and obviously Kira's non-binary too, which is absolutely incredible. And they're really, you know, expressive of their journey, and, you know, I'm really proud of them. And I feel like it's just so good that we have that with our band.
Yeah, definitely. As a non-binary person myself, like having that representation is just amazing to see, and having people speak so openly about it in the music industry.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we need to carry on to have these conversations, and, you know, to just normalize it.
Yeah, I
It
definitely
shouldn't ever have to be like a big thing to like come out.
agree.
You know, you don't have to come out as straight.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. It's just like, yeah, let's just normalize it. And that's what we intend to do.
Yeah, definitely. Also, so you're making a new record now, and you're quite deep into that. So what has been the process so far of writing the song? Because I know with your last album, you kind of went away by yourself and did a lot of the songwriting. So are you and Kira like working on the songs together now, or is it something you're pursuing by yourself again?
Yeah, we are actually. We're writing together again, which is really lovely. That was, you know, the base of Pale Waves. We started Pale Waves together. It was just on the second album we had drastically, you know, like different musical taste. However, it's been like a full circle. Now Kira's like, yeah, that music is all I can listen to now, or all I can write. So I'm so glad that, you know, they were able to come into that world a bit more and really engage it and embrace it, because it can feel quite lonely, you know, when you're just writing by yourself, and there's a lot of pressure on just you. And yeah, when Kira's in the studio, it's a bit more lighthearted, you know, it's just more fun, and you have that sense of like, oh yeah, you know, we're actually in a band.
But it takes the pressure off yourself as well a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really glad that we've almost like gone back to, you know, our roots, and Kira's in the studio with me, like, you know, most days, but they just had top surgery, so they're recovering from that.
Did they do that privately or with the NHS, can I ask, as someone
Privately. Yeah, privately in the US, because they're not in the UK, they're in LA where I am right now.
Okay, so speaking of queerness, who was your gay awakening, if you had one? Was there any like certain character? Like for me, it was like Velma and Red Latex for the Scooby-Doo live action. So
yeah, that is a good one. I'm trying to think a gay awakening. I don't know. I had a crush on a girl at school. I guess maybe that was my gay awakening.
Anyone in pop culture that we might have?
Obviously, there's Megan Fox.
Oh yeah.
That I feel like everyone, you know, had a crush on or something when they were younger.
Yeah. Okay. Megan Fox, brilliant. That's a great choice. Oh, speaking of Megan Fox, what do you think of Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly at the moment?
Oh God, they're quite a funny couple, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they seem really in love. Like, I'm glad, but it did make me laugh that, you know, that she said, well, she publicly came out with, like, said their first ever conversation, which was, "You smell like weed," and then he said, "I am weed," and then walked away. Like, she was just hooked from that.
Yeah, I don't know
Which
how that
made me
works,
laugh.
but you know, props to him for making it work.
Yeah,
I know. Okay, so who or what inspires you in your career?
What inspires me? Our fans really inspire me. I feel like I go on social media, and I don't really go on it that much because social media is like a whole thing within itself. But I'm always reading about like their journeys or like their struggles, and they're so strong, and they're so like independent, and so true to themselves at such a young age. And that really admires that. Yeah, I really admire that, and that inspires me a lot.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you've got such a strong fan base around you. It's like I can just see. I always see like Pale Waves stands on my timeline as well. So it's great.
They're all so cool as well. I fucking love the style. And yeah, when we play a show and I come out, I'm literally like, you're all so fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they take some inspiration from yours as style. Yeah, so obviously you've nearly towards the end of completing that album. How are you how do you approach taking time off work? Like, what do you do on your days off? Like, how do you unwind?
Maybe I'm trying to think. I feel like I've been working so much, but on the weekend, maybe like go see a movie, or because I'm in LA right now, go to the beach, which is like incredible. And I really love going to the beach. The ocean brings me so much peace, and it's so beautiful. Or I would like go out to dinner, or like go to a bar for a few drinks. Nothing too crazy, honestly. Like, I'm not that rock star that can like go out clubbing and take loads of drink and drugs till like 8 a.m. That's just not me.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing. So
yeah.
Okay, so what's something an outsider wouldn't know about your industry?
I feel like an outsider really glamorizes touring and really glamorizes being an artist. They think, oh, it's so easy, and there's so much luxury, and you earn so much money. And it's like, it's really, well, sorry, my alarm's going off. That's really not the case. Like, it's actually so difficult, and it exhausts you being on tour, and you have to live on like a little tin can tour bus with like 13 other people, and you don't wake up and like can go and just make your coffee and sit on the couch or read your book. You like wake up and you have to drag your suitcase out and lift it up like 5 flights of steps, and then like wait for a turn in the dressing room, tiny bathroom. And like, it's not as glamorous as it seems, honestly.
I can imagine it gets quite claustrophobic as well after a while.
Yeah, it really does. It definitely does. And I feel like when we tour again, like, I'm going to approach it differently, and I have to like just go out by myself and just like escape in moments. Because when you sort of like do that for years like I did, you start to go a bit stir crazy.
Yeah. Has it caused a strain in your relationship with your fellow bandmates?
No, not a strain. They're kind of used to me, and like, they know when I kind of need space.
Yeah.
I can't hide my feelings, and I'm very honest, but they'll know when I'm having a bad day, and they'll just kind of like
keep away.
yeah. But we all have our bad days on tour. It's what it is. When you're spending near enough like every day together, you go through the emotions with those people. You're constantly around them.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of like your career and your band and everything, what's the best and worst career decision that you've made so far?
The best and worst. I would say the best would be like coming over here to LA before, like, when the second album was due, because we waited like 2.5 years to release one, and we didn't really have that much material that was like really that good, and everyone was sort of panicking. And I would say the best one is like listening when everyone was telling me to come here and just like try writing with other people. And a guy that I connected with called Sam DeJong, who's from New Zealand, I just wrote most of it with him. And I would say, yeah, like one of the best decisions is opening up and allowing room for collaboration. Never really taken away from like what you truly want to say, or how you want the song to be, just allow other people to assist you.
Yeah.
That's what I would say, because everyone needs help at the end of the day, and sometimes when you try and do it all yourself, it's not really the best outcome, I feel. The worst, I don't know, I'm trying to think of one. I would maybe sometimes when I get too drunk before I go on stage, and then I walk on and I'm like, I can't even speak straight, I'm slurring, and like, I shouldn't have done this. What have I done to myself? So maybe like having too many drinks sometimes before I go on stage, which I have stopped now. I'm a professional now.
Oh yes. Learn from your mistakes. That's good. So I imagine probably the drink has something to do with my next question, but what's the funniest thing that's happened to you while on tour?
Oh my God. I mean, one thing that really like unites my band is that we all have the same sense of humor. Like that's what I feel really bonds us as 4 people, because we're all very different, but our humor and what we like to laugh at and, you know, talk about is very, very similar. So I feel like I'm literally constantly like laughing when I'm around them, and like when we're on tour, because it's just, they're all just so funny. Like I'm definitely like the least
How do you describe
funniest.
your humor?
It's quite like dry British sarcastic humor, like a bit sick, you know.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Maybe most people won't get it, but we all get it, you know.
Just what kind of shows are we thinking? Like TV shows, that similar sort of level of humor? Peep Show?
Oh, what's that Irish show?
Derry Girls?
This Way Up, is it?
This Way Up? Possibly. I don't know. I haven't heard that one.
She's an Irish woman and she's the lead. Kelsey, do you know?
I think it's this.
Yeah, it's This Way Up, I'm pretty sure. Like very just like dry, funny humor.
Okay, I'll check that out.
It is really funny.
Yeah,
I love it.
Okay, so if you could speak to your 18-year-old self, so bearing in mind like the Mancunion readers are university students, 18 to like 21, so what would you say? What kind of advice would you give to an 18-year-old?
I guess I would say don't put so much pressure on yourself. I feel like at that time I would put a lot of pressure on myself, and then that would really just stress me the fuck out, and I wouldn't ever enjoy anything.
Yeah.
And especially when you are going to uni, like it's a big change. You're away from home, you're living alone now basically, and you have like random strangers as roommates, and it is scary and it is strange, and you do feel, you know, uncomfortable, but you tend to, you know, like find the people that you really get along with and like find yourself in that world. But yeah, just don't put too much pressure on yourself and just lighten up and embrace it, really.
Yeah, that's solid advice. And there are so many students that are just driving themselves insane with stress, so
oh yeah, I imagine. I remember being so stressed too.
So as I'm sure you know, obviously, identifying as like queer can be quite a confusing process, especially like as a woman, because the line between platonic love and romantic love often gets blurred. Have you ever experienced true love, and how did you know that it was true love?
Yeah, I've definitely experienced true love with Kelsey. I think for me, it was because I felt like I could truly be myself, like truly. I feel like Kelsey, out of anyone in my life, has seen like the most realist me, because for everyone else, I feel like you have to put on sort of like mask in a way, which is frustrating, or you have to adapt somewhat to like that person, whereas Kelsey's seen like my lowest point, my darkest point, just every single side, and like has loved me through that, and that just made me fall even deeper in love with her, and knew that, oh, this is what, you know, like true love is. You accept that person for who they truly are, and like I feel like I can just be, I don't have to put on a mask.
That's beautiful. I'll bet she'll love hearing that back once this goes live.
She sat in front of me actually right now looking through books. She didn't even turn around.
Not impressed by that declaration of love. Oh.
I know, actually.
Speaking of relationships, so what is your relationship with, I know you've touched on it a little bit before, but with social media, what kind of boundaries do you put in place for yourself to make sure you're having that healthy relationship?
Oh, my alarm. I would just say I've never been one to be obsessed with social media. I find it difficult to be constantly present on there. I'm always getting like nagged at by other people, you know, post more, be more active. And it's just something really empty that I find about social media. I know it comes with like what I do, and I'm trying to get better at it, but it's just hard to be that constantly vain all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't want to be taking pictures of myself constantly. Like, I want to be in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, it gets away from me. Like, I don't want to be constantly picking up my phone being like, oh, I need to take a picture of this, or I need to video this right now. I'm very much in the moment person. I'm very, you know, present. But I feel like I do need to post more because I haven't been posting that much. But I am in the middle of writing the album, and I don't want to be thinking about posting all the time. That's more so like when the campaign starts, you know, I'll worry about that and I'll do that more. But yeah, I think just maintaining a healthy relationship is just, for me, like not feeling the pressure to have to do that so much, and not being on it all the time, or like, and not trying to compare myself to other people on there, because it's so easy to do that on, like, you know, social media platforms.
Yeah. Speaking, that's a great point, to be honest. Like, yeah, you're completely right with social media. There's sort of like push on this notion that something's only worth doing if you like share it to other people, or if you take a photo of it. Like, otherwise,
100%.
Yeah, you really kind of struck something there. So
yeah,
I was going to ask you something. What was I going to ask? It's gone from my head.
Sometimes it just happens.
If you could do anything besides, oh no, I remembered what I was going to ask now. Do you use TikTok? And if so, has it deeply integrated into your mind so that you're remembering quotes all the time, like it has mine?
I do use TikTok. I don't post as much as I should, but then again, it's, you know, coming back to what we were just addressing. I will start to like more. I like watching TikTok because like most of my TikToks are just really funny TikToks, or like cooking TikToks, which I like, you know. I like, you know, funny things, or like stuff to do with pets.
Well,
it's like a really
page is just cat videos.
yeah it's quite like light-hearted, and it's like an easy way to pass time. But then sometimes you're on it and you're like, oh my god, it's 2 hours gone by, or an hour, and like then I hate myself for like spending that much time on TikTok.
Yeah, it's too easy of a way to pass time, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I don't really know the quotes, or like, you know, the dance routines that much, because I feel like I don't see
Is there any accounts that you particularly like on TikTok?
I don't know the usernames, but there is this one woman, and she makes these these packed lunches for her husband.
Yes, yeah, I know who you're on about.
And like, they're just so neat and so nice, and like, I don't know, I get so much satisfaction of watching those.
Yeah, imagine having a wife like that. Like, wow.
I know. Like, he's eating like, you know, like a I don't know, like a 5-star meal every lunch. It's really impressive.
Imagine putting that much effort for a man. But anyway.
Yeah, I can't relate.
So apart from music, obviously it is your biggest passion, I'm assuming so. But if you didn't go down the route of being a musician, what could you see yourself being? What would be your like other dream job?
Well, I really love like helping people, so I feel like I would have been, a nurse or a doctor.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, my mum's a nurse too, and I naturally have that caretaker like gene, So yeah, I feel like that's what I would do.
Brilliant. Okay, I feel like
it's quite different. It's quite different.
Yeah, it's a lot different to what I expected, but yeah, it's a lovely idea to be a doctor and nurse. But yeah, that's all my questions. So thank you so much for chatting.
Amazing.
With me.
No problem.
I'll get this up with the Mancunion and write this up into the feature. But best of luck.
All right, perfect.
Your album and your tour and everything. So take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, you too.